The Fantastic Four First Steps is the fourth comic book movie this year, the fourth attempt at making a Fantastic Four movie, the first movie of the MCU's Phase 6, and there are so many numbers that I've gone cross-eyed. But is it any good? Welcome back to Movies Good, Internet Bad. I'm Cory. Shane is off on assignment riding roller coasters at Disney World, and this is my non-spoiler review of the Fantastic Four First Steps. Just to get it right out of the way, I really enjoyed this movie. Boy, was it a breath of fresh air to see a Marvel movie that required no homework. You're going to hear that phrase a lot from a lot of people on the internet. But it's true. This is in an entirely different universe from the typical 616 Marvel Cinematic Universe. That means none of the actors we know, none of the storylines that we're familiar with. You don't have to watch any TV shows or movies to understand it. You can just dive right in, enjoy this story, enjoy these characters. It has its own visual language and its own aesthetic because of that, and had the absolute perfect director for what they were trying to do. Matt Shakman did a great job with both WandaVision, where he brought in all the period elements of the different TV show stuff, and then in this retro-futuristic 1960s that we find ourselves in. Boy, it was really nice to just look at a Marvel movie and go, that looked different. That had purpose behind it. There's color in there. It embraced the comic book zaniness of it all. And it really worked for me. The core of this movie and the most important part is the family dynamic and the actors that they picked to play the titular characters. So let's talk about them. Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards in this movie. He's very good. Pedro has a very innate talent for showing how to be vulnerable on screen. And he doesn't really get the chance to do that too much in this movie because he has to be the smartest guy on Earth. It's a neat little challenge for him, and he's really good in the movie. I know a lot of people were a little on the fence over his casting. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was really good. He still gets his moments where the Pedro in him comes out, but he gets to have all these little quips that aren't really quips. He's just really smart, and that worked for me really well. Vanessa Kirby is even better as Sue Storm. I cannot believe how good she was in this. Perfectly cast. Awesome showcase of her powers. She's kind of the de facto face of the group to the public, and it just works really well. She gives a knockout performance, probably one of my favorite Marvel performances in a long time. So Joseph Quinn is Johnny Storm, cocky but not a himbo in this one, so very much not like the Chris Evans portrayal in the Tim Story movies. I thought he was very good too. He had a meaning and a reason to be there, which was pretty cool to see, other than just being the guy that lights on fire and it's cool. And then lastly, you had Evan Moss-Bachrach playing the Thing, probably my second favorite performance in the movie. Having a character that is a rock, a boulder, and having that one be the one that has probably the most humanity out of the core group of characters was really cool, and he's very talented, and I loved all that. There's a great supporting cast in here too. Paul Walter Hauser is great in the movie. Natasha Lyonne shows up. Matthew Wood, if you're a Star Wars fan, the voice of General Grievous, is Herbie, the Fantastic Four's robot. Also great. Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer, terrific. Ralph Ineson's voice as Galactus in a nice big cinema. You feel it in your seats. It is very cool to see. So really well cast movie. Was super excited about all that. The story is very light on its feet. The movie's not very long. It comes in at less than 2 hours with the credits and the post-credit scenes, of which there are 2. So definitely make sure to stick around all the way till the end. Visual effects, really good. Marvel has come under fire recently for having subpar VFX or working VFX artists to the bone. If they did do that for this one, at least this time it paid off. The visual effects were really good. They didn't overdo Mr. Fantastic's stretching. It was there, and it was just right when they did it. Sue's powers looked awesome, and I heard that they used some different lenses and ways to kind of capture some of that in camera, which is cool. Johnny looked great, all the fire stuff, little mocap you can tell on the Thing, but for the most part it worked really well for me. And then Silver Surfer and Galactus just looked great. I couldn't get over how cool it was to see Galactus in the flesh and not as a cloud, just being gigantic and adding scale to the movie. Last thing that I want to talk about is the score. Michael Giacchino is spitting scores out like crazy. He gave us Rogue One. He gave us The Batman. He's given us this, while also directing stuff for Marvel too. But this one, the score really sets the tone for the entire film. The film is very hopeful. It is very bright and optimistic. And the score mirrors that, and it propels everything as you're seeing it on the screen. So, like I mentioned, there are 2 post-credit scenes. There's one midway through the credits, then there's one all the way at the end. I would definitely recommend seeing this in a nice big cinema. It was filmed for IMAX, so if you have a 190 IMAX theater near you, you will get that nice full IMAX ratio. And if you're lucky enough to have a 143 IMAX near you, I do believe some of the scenes also expand all the way up to 143, which is pretty neat. So really excited, honestly. I mean, between Daredevil Born Again, Thunderbolts, and then Fantastic Four, I think Marvel is maybe coming out of the doldrums that they were in during the what some folks are calling the Disney Plus era, where they were just spitting out content for the sake of content, and some of it, suffice it to say, wasn't so good. And then, between that and Superman coming out and being very successful and, audiences liking it, it's nice to see some comic book stuff that's been successful. We were 3 for 4 this year. The only outlier was Captain America Brave New World, unfortunately, which wasn't the best movie. But got a couple good ones this year, and hopefully the competition between the 2 brands, rising tide raises all boats, right? So that's going to do it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've seen Fantastic Four First Steps, go ahead and drop us a comment below and let us know your thoughts. Like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and click that notification bell so you don't miss a future video. We'll be back soon. Shane's going to be back, and we've got some plans for the channel going into the back half of the year. So stay tuned for all of that and so much more. Until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.